But that's one of them tricky things that like people are like, man, what is my purpose? Like what is that clarity? And I don't think it's as complicated as like we make it out to be. I think we feel like we need this super clear goal, but I feel like it's very simple. Like, especially when it comes to like what I do with coaching, the guys that come to me, they just know deep down that this is like this bad habit of watching these videos and doing these certain acts is making them feel so negative. Their inclination is pulling them, or there's this like mechanism inside them that's pulling them to that better version of themselves. They just feel it, right? So that is purpose in a very like microscopic sense. And you get to that place, and then from that place, there's another thing you want to obtain. You've solved that problem. Now you want to maybe earn your own income, or you want to get in better shape, or you want to be more social, or you want to be more confident. And it's like all these little things. So it doesn't matter what the goal is, whether it be, just an internal goal of like, I want to improve myself, be more confident, or if it's a material thing, it doesn't matter. As long as there's something that's like almost in the future that you're working towards, that is purpose. You taking action towards that, and again, aligning your thoughts towards that thing, that is purpose. It's as simple as that. You don't need to have this grand 10-year plan. No one really knows what's going to happen in 10 years, So it's just listening to that little voice inside of you. And I think a lot of people don't know how to do that. I think a lot of people do things based on logic. They think, okay, well, I want a car, I want a yacht. And it's like, again, like that's not, you need to listen to that voice deep down. And it could just be one small thing. Like, I want to quit. I want to leave this job. Like this job or I want to leave this relationship, or I'm drawn towards this person. I want to spend time with them. Because like these every micro decision you ever made in your life has led us to this exact moment. Everything we're wearing, every single microscopic decision we made has led us to where we are. So like we have free will. We can choose any path. We can do anything we want. There are other things external that are out of our control, but fundamentally we get to choose what we do every single day. And what I think that really comes down to is how present are you? How focused are you? Are you actually driving the car, or is something else driving you? We live in the age of distraction. There is literally TikTok, there's porn, there's, drugs. There's literally, you have access to like more stimulants than ever before. And so people are just not even, they're not present. They're not conscious. They can't hear that voice inside of themselves. They're so distracted. They're coping. They're numbing themselves. So if you can just get focused, like I think that's the biggest thing that determines success. Because success isn't easy. If it was easy, everyone would have it, right? So, and it's also your mind. It's your thoughts. Like again, as a man thinketh, your thoughts are things. They manifest. If you think a thought of any ill thoughts, you will manifest or attract negative things. If you purely think pure thoughts, you can't really inhabit. Your internal state creates your external reality. So like if you're internally thinking, a little bit of doubt, even when it comes to the gym, when I go to the gym and I lift a weight I've never lifted before, I don't let even the 1% of doubt enter my body. I just tell my body, I'm going to lift this weight, and I visualize that weight moving. Because why would I allow doubt in, Because that's only going to then manifest. If that thought doesn't exist, it can't then become something else. If you only think thoughts of success, it's like, that's what you're going to attract. So yeah, that's kind of what ties into the other question.
Yeah, no, 100%. I agree, especially what you said about purpose. I actually done a video on it like last couple of years, speaking about that, because that's something that I actually went through a bit of an existential crisis, I would say, when I was like 24, thinking like, fuck, what's my purpose? So I need to find out what I want to do with my life. I think a lot of people probably go through that in their mid-20s, and it's very, very difficult because you obviously see a lot of successful people say, oh yeah, know what you want to do and do it, and I found my purpose and this, that, and the next. And I think it's a good thing to actually go through the existential crisis of not knowing what you want to do or not knowing what your purpose is, quote unquote, because you have a higher chance of actually finding your purpose than the person that hasn't gone through the existential crisis. But my conclusion when I came down to it, I studied ancient mystics from Eastern sort of part of the world, India, Sadhguru, Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. I studied people in the West, William James, Dr. John Demartini. I studied everything I could on purpose to try and figure out how to find my purpose. And the conclusion I came down to was, okay, the actual purpose of life, there isn't an inherent purpose of life. That's the funny thing about it. But every human being has a specific set of values that are very fingerprint specific to them. And your values are essentially based on your voids. So if you, let's say, grew up, an example of this, I knew a girl, actually, I've seen her, and she runs an aesthetics business now where she does like Botox and filler and lip filler and this, that, and the next. And I asked her how she got into it. And she was like, well, when I was younger, I always saw myself as sort of the ugly one out of my group of friends as a female, right? So she had a void on her own beauty. Well, it's funny how she's now gone into a business where she does facial aesthetics and values that. But like I said, your values are based on your void. So whatever you see as a void in your life, you're going to want to import into your life, and it becomes important to you. For example, you're saying about money right now. That's something that's on your mind. Okay, I want to increase my finances. That's a void that you have. Okay, now you have a value on money. Your values and your purpose are actually essentially the same thing, exactly what you're saying. And once you fulfill it, you move on to the next thing, like you said. So you might, a lot of guys, I feel, in the beginning, it starts out with women, right? Oh, I want to get girls. The moment they start getting women, they start thinking about getting money, right? And that's obviously where Maslow's hierarchy of needs comes along. You get your basic survival, then you get your reproductive survival, then you eventually go on to self-actualization, which is like making a difference in the world and this, that, and the next. So I would say to anybody that wants to find their purpose and doesn't know what it is, don't stress it too much. I'd say look at where you feel deficient in your life, what your voids are, and then from there, you're going to figure out what you need to do. And that's just the next step. Once you fulfill that part of your purpose, you move on to something else. So this something that is ever changing throughout your life.
Yeah, no, that is beautifully said. It's the same with the semen rotation. I tell my clients, like, you know, this is one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Like this thing, you think it's a big problem, mate. Once you solve this and it's in the back of your mind, it's not gonna be in your awareness anymore. You know, problems you had when you were younger, like once you realize it's not important, it just disappears out of your awareness, and then you're focused on something else. It's the same principle. And I was the same, chasing girls. Like that was, again, like I've actually never heard that before, so that was quite interesting. But yeah.